Good evening, one and all. You're listening to The Downbeat. This is 97.1 The Freak. It's a very, very big day for all of us around here. Because today, here on The Downbeat, free and clear of any and all obligations that anyone might have, we are very, very happy to let you all know we've got our third. Everybody around here has got a three-man show. It's been Mikey and I for the first, couple months or so of the thing. And today, we got our third. Now, we would like to send out a shout-out to all of our colleagues around here who have been very generous with their time, very generous about coming in here and helping us out. It's very, very meaningful to me. And I had a lot of fun with every one of them. It's been great getting to know Kavanaugh, who I didn't know at all before this started.
So ridiculous.
It's been great getting to watch the amazing Kevin Turner in action and that fiery, deviant brain of his work. Ben and Skin, awesome guys that I've known for a long time. Jules is just amazing. And, of course, the always lovely Christina Ray fitting in here. They all helped us out over the run-up.
Is that Julie?
No, that's Christina.
Man. Sounds like you're feeding chickens.
That's exactly how it's labeled.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Christina Chicken Laugh.
Well, all those people have been great about helping us out in the run-up to here, but now we got our boy.
Wow. What are you guys calling me? Danny? Dingu?
I don't know.
We don't know what to call each other, considering we're all Mike.
I thought I was, what is it, Banana Johnson or whatever that was?
Do you know what you've been in my phone as since the ticket?
Big Dumb Danny?
You are Deep Dish Danny
Deep
Bayless.
Dish Danny, yep.
And I swear one of the guys over there is still in my phone as the Hardline intern.
Jake?
Jake is still the Hardline intern in my phone.
You didn't know his name?
No, I didn't know his last name, so I put him in as Jake, the Hardline intern.
Gotcha.
And then it just I never changed it.
Well, as we get down the road, we'll need Deep Dish Danny, your pizza history, and all your stuff, because we get to tell it all again. Some of it I don't know.
All the stories are brand new all over again.
You know what story
Yes,
I
they are.
actually don't
That's
know?
the beauty of something like
Yes.
this.
I actually don't know the Bayless No story. I know it was football, and you screwed something up. And
No, wrong sport. So you
basketball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get to
I've
all
always
that
loved
stuff for sure.
the drop of it, but I don't know the origin at all.
I think it
so.
had to do with a hook shot from near out of bounds.
Bayless No.
It was a bad decision that happened to work one time.
Pistol Bayless.
Yeah. So where were we at? What
I wanted to mention something to
That's
you
right.
guys because so when Ben and I left the fan, it happened overnight. Like we were going down this crazy path where we were unhappy there, and we didn't want to be there anymore. And Ben, because he thinks bigger than anybody. He thinks you know what? I think we can buy the moon. You know, that's how Ben operates. And ever since I've known him. Like when we first were, 19 or 20 years old doing, and he came back from Lubbock and we were going to do rap stuff, and I would just learn how to put beats and stuff together. He's like, well, I'll get a deal together. We'll put it all together. And he did. Like he's always been that way. And when we were getting ready to leave the fan, we knew that lease management agreement between Cumulus and the ESPN signal was coming up. And we were starting to try to assemble a group of investors to go get that signal. And we were going to try to do the ticket thing where we start a new signal with the Mavericks, right? And that was going to be incredibly difficult, but we knew that we liked that better than staying at the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then this thing came up with the Eagle. And we met with the Eagle bosses on a Thursday, and I remember it very well because we got off the air at 2.
Now, did Ben string this together, too?
This was through a mutual friend.
Okay.
And we went and met with an iHeart executive and that mutual friend at Thursday at 3 o'clock. We got off the air at 2, and I had to leave at like 6 o'clock because we were doing a Clippers-Mavericks preseason game. All right? They sat down with us Thursday. On Wednesday morning, not even a full week later, Ben and I handed in our resignation and the contracts that they could match. Like, it happened in less than a week. And based on what I like to do and based on what I think Ben is really, really good at, he's good at a lot of things, but specifically this, I was like, we need to go here because this will be the best show we've ever done and it won't even be close. We are going to have a blast. And we did from day one. And we knew we wanted KT to come with us, but, you know, he was still thinking about the fan and is this going to be an opportunity for me? But he had to run that ground ball out. And as soon as we got KT on board, and then we went after Christina, and as soon as we got Christina, I was like, this is it. This is our show. We don't need anything else. I don't care what's on before or after us. This show is going to be awesome. And we had so much fun doing it that when we started talking to other executives about could we put a whole talk station together, we're like, well, if you get the right people, but this format is badass. It's not what the ticket does. It's not what the fan does. Maybe it's a little bit like what Live 105 was. But honestly and true, and I think I've told you this, Mike, it reminded me of what if LaBella and Rhodey was all day long. Because I listened to LaBella and Rhodey growing up. My sister and her Mazda RX-7 would drive me to school, and we listened to LaBella and Rhodey there and back. And the very first day the ticket came on the air, and Mike Reiner comes on, I was like, the guy from the zoo is up. What? Oh, my God. Yeah, I had no idea who the hell Grego was, but I knew the guy from the zoo. But my whole point being is that in order to do a station like this, you have to have the right people. And we knew there were people that we liked, but we thought it was way off into the distance until the stuff started happening over at the ticket, and then we got to connect with Reiner. Because when I got sick, Ryan's came in and filled in for me, and Ben was like, dude, I think Reiner could still do this and would still want to do this. And I was like, we've been having these discussions for a year, but they're never, consistent, like every week plotting and planning. And it wasn't until you guys had an exodus over there and we got Mike Reiner involved that me and Ben's like our heads started spinning.
Yeah.
This has been, I never thought we would be on the air in 2022. I did not think that's the way this thing was going to go down. But the second that we got Mike involved, Mr. Reiner, that expedited everything. And I really am sitting here right now as we think through this, and I can't believe we're here. And I sure as hell can't believe Deep Dish is sitting in here in 2022. Like, I did not think that this was going to be possible the way it is, and I just could not be any happier and more excited about the future. And the fact that you four bozos are doing a show after us just makes me so happy, because Ben and I have never been in a situation like this where we're on a station with people that we love and we never want to turn the dial. And
it's a great situation for all of us.
I
man.
can't thank you guys enough for rolling.
It is a great situation for all of us, and I don't mean anything disparaging to anybody by saying this. Let me get that out there right up front. Hear me now, believe me later. It is absolutely true. I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but I have never had more fun in this game than right now. Than doing this station, doing this with you guys.
Without being disparaging, why is that? Like, what elements of, you've had 3 radio gigs in your life where you were on air,
and they were great. All
and the
three of them
zoo
were great.
had to have been a blast.
Yep, it was.
The ticket was, dude, you were an integral part of creating that.
Hall of Famer.
Growing that, became a radio Hall of Famer as a result of that. I worked with you for 22 years, and we had a blast.
Yep,
a lot of times,
we
man.
did.
Were there rocky times? Did we go through a lot of trials and changes and changes of ownership, changes of our show? Yeah, we did, but there was a lot of fun, and you've been here 2 months. I want to know, honestly, what makes this so much fun that you're willing to say that right now?
Well, a lot of it has to do, and again, this is going to sound very disparaging. I don't mean it to be. It's just a standard fact, and you can probably get your head around this, I'll bet.
Okay.
But over the years, things changed at the Ticket, and it just wasn't that much fun for me anymore. And I felt kind of out of place up there. And I lost my vibe for it. I lost my feel for it. And in here, it's a lot like the Ticket was in its early days. But I think it's even more fun because now we kind of know what we're doing a little bit. You know, because we've done it before, we kind of know we got a little bit better feel for the do's and don'ts of it than we had at the start of the Ticket. And armed with that information, it makes it makes me more productive. It makes the whole thing more fun. I really like the vibe of the entire station a little bit. Now, there are some things that we got to get squared away for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that Cavs, I don't know if you're listening right now, but that is the work of the devil there.
He acted alone.
Yes, the devil acted alone there. I'm not trying to disparage you in any way, man. In fact,
Sure, dude.
One thing we need to get squared
I
away.
barely even know the guy. And
yeah. I mean, I don't know him either. I'm just getting to know him, and I really like the guy.
he's a real sweetheart.
Yeah, he
to
is.
defend
all
Jeff,
accounts.
every time he's filled in with us,
Yeah.
every show we get done, we go our separate ways, and Mike just raves about how much I really like that guy and how good he is at radio.
Yeah.
I will say this: when we first started getting together, me and Ben told you you're gonna love Kavanaugh.
Yep, you did.
We wanted Kavanaugh to be a part of this thing big time.
Yeah, I mean, I was at best neutral toward the guy.
Right.
But you guys liked him, and by then you had won me over. I was trusting you guys, so okay, if they think this guy is good, let's give him a chance.
I really do believe that. I think there's probably a lot of listeners. And by the way, thank you for telling me, about what is making this fun. And I think what I'm hearing is it feels like already, and just being around the management that I've met here and the rest of the staff, it feels a lot more relaxed. Like it's like the management is allowing the adults to police themselves. Do you kind of get that feeling around here a little bit?
Oh yeah.
To where you like that? You like that, Groobs?
It's pretty neat.
Where you kind of feel like a grown man. Like you don't need to be looked after every little thing. And you know what? That may translate to ratings failure. I don't know. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's try it out. But I do feel a very relaxed vibe up here.
The guy who's in charge worked with the great Kid Craddock, and he does not believe. He believes that he got the talent there because they're talented. Him and Jay both don't believe that you need to go tell people what to say or what to do. He's like, that's why we got him here in the first place.
Well, those are the guys that I met with on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
they're wonderful.
It's incredible
programmers.
how much their philosophy, their personalities just connected, resonated, and kind of permeated into me that I left that meeting not needing to think about it.
Yeah.
I left that meeting with a handshake agreement that we were going to do this, and I was going to come on Monday.
Now we should tell everybody we're speaking of Patrick Davis,
Yes.
the program director,
Yes.
and Jay Shannon, who programs several of the other stations up
Right.
here. We got how many in here?
They're running 5 stations right now, and
Okay.
then Priscilla's doing a lot of work too.
Oh yes, Priscilla Kincaid. Let's not forget her.
She's a badass.
I felt like I was talking to colleagues, to contemporaries that were treating me like an adult.
My perception is that they don't feel like they I mean, I've been with programmers before that I'm in this meeting going, this guy's trying to prove something right now. We're not even having a real conversation about what's best for the station. There's like some justification of a job going on or something. I have never sensed that once here ever one day, and I'm sure Ben would tell you the exact same.
And they always told us, Skin told us that when we were having these primary discussions, like, you won't believe it. You'll love these guys. And you're like, all right, well, we're in the courting phase theoretically, and I'm, you guys are dressed pretty and trying to say what I want to hear.
Yeah.
But then you get here, and it's not only true, it's better than that because they're They're chill.
Yeah.
They're smart. They are out of your hair. And just like you just said, you never go in there and feel like you're being talked down to, or their inadequacies or insecurities lead them to want to interject themselves on air or do all that much or have that much of an impact directly on day to day. And that's so refreshing.
Yeah, and
compared to other options.
And I'm not pointing out these elements or asking you guys about these things to try to compare to anything else that I've experienced. I'm just talking about this unique vibe that I get by being around, the people that the iHeart operatives, if you will.
Yeah.
It feels like you're kind of on the same level. But if you did screw up, or did make a really big mistake, they'd have no problem turning into a boss. But it's kind of interesting. It's neat to feel like they're right there with you.
They're right there with you is the way
it's
to say
cool.
it. Like you're all together.
But Paul Corvino is definitely going to call us all into his office and chew us out at some point in the next 6 months.
He's going to force us all to do liquid ecstasy
That's
by the
gonna
end of the
happen.
day.
I told Ben that Ben was talking
At the end of the day,
Paul Corvino.
At the end of this day,
Guys, strap up.
Today?
It's gonna get real.
We're doing Liquid X.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got 35 minutes to prepare
We're
for that.
doing it before the Sunset Lounge.
I was telling Ben earlier out there in the office, or what do you guys call that area?
Well, Groups is in the stank tank.
The stank tank.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to learn all the new terms. What is it where our
I
little
don't
desks
know.
are?
Bullpen works.
I know, but bullpen's kind of a ticket thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like
What's
it's
the bullpen for hockey, Mike?
penalty box.
No,
Oh,
it's
doesn't
the
work.
bench.
yeah, the bench.
Okay. I'm going through options
So
here.
anyway, I'm
What is-
sitting out there with Ben and the bench and
The rat trap out there.
Yeah,
The
the rat
dugout?
trap.
a mousetrap board game?
I had just met Paul Corvino for the first time, and
Missed
Ben was just raving about what a great dude he is and how much he loves what's going on the air here. And I go, yeah, he seems like a really great guy, but that's also going to be the last set of eyes that you see when you
we're
feel
fired.
the knife enter your back. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Both things can be true.
I wanted to say this right quick too, because I was thinking about this during the first segment where you were feeling apprehension and all those emotions are coming up, and I've said the same thing to Mike Soroy, is that once you leave the ticket, and Ben and I were just part timers, right? We didn't start doing full time radio until we left the ticket, but what you realize when you leave the ticket, there's about another 7 million people in DFW. There's this whole other world out there. And Ben and I have a ton of loyal listeners that they didn't follow us from the ticket. They aren't going to leave the ticket. And what you guys are going to realize is there's a whole other world of people out there that are going to be new to Danny and new to Mike Soroy and new to the Shoopies, and they're going to love it. And you're going to have this whole new group of people that you're going to connect and vibe with and form this little community with. You don't have to go take anybody
agree.
from anywhere else.
And to carry on that point, before I asked Mike what made him excited or made him feel like he's having the most fun out of any radio job that he's had, I was starting to talk about that. I really believe that once the emotional weirdness of this dissipates, which emotions typically do for most people, and I think that there are a lot of ticket listeners that are embedded into that culture, into that mindset, and connected to that brand, that they might right now be feeling, screw those guys, they're traitors, they abandoned the ticket, and I'm never going to listen to them. I'm only going to listen to what's on that frequency, no matter what it is.
No, there are more than a few.
I think there's a lot. There's a lot of people that are like that, and you know what? Good. That's great.
That's cool,
Brand
man.
Yeah,
commitment.
fine.
And,
Hell, I think Reiner invented
and-
those
and
people.
Look, let's be honest. It's a pretty damn good brand. They're
great.
They're really good at what they do. We were a part of that for so long. And I have nothing bad to say about the vast amount of talent that fills those airwaves from 5:30 to 7 every day. The thing is once the emotions kind of settle a little bit, I think that the people that look, there's certain people you're never going to change their mind, and that's fine. But I think that people that might be hesitant to try something new, once those kind of all the dust settles, I think they're going to have a good time checking this out. Because the one thing that I feel like that I want to make sure that we're doing in this show is I want to be honest. I want to be real. I don't want to play radio, and I want to talk about all of this stuff moving forward on this show. But I was part of that for such a long time, creating this persona and this character, and being the real yelling at callers and I hate everything and the dark cloud and all that. And a lot of that was an extension of maybe who I was at that point, but it wasn't all of me. And I think that what we can do now is create our own lane, do our own thing, and everybody can be happy.
Absolutely.
The people that are working at the ticket can be happy. The people that are listening to the ticket can be happy. The people that choose to pop on over here, or that we find unique listeners that don't listen to talk radio at all. People that are mad that we're not playing freaking Mudvayne and Candlebox.
We played the new Metallica today. We played 2.5 minutes of it.
But you know what I'm saying? There's people that are pissed that you guys flip formats and now it's all talk because they don't know where to get their... I don't know what's the name of.
Go to HD2.
Yeah, man, it's right there. It's
HD2.
waiting for you.
But that's my point. Is we'll find some people.
Yes,
and I think
we will find ours.
We're gonna just like the ticket found theirs.
Yes.
Damn near 30 years ago. People hated the ticket in the beginning. I was one of them. It took me 6 months to get on board with that damn thing, but once I did, I loved it. All I'm saying is I think that there's a chance for this thing to work.
Absolutely,
and not just work for a couple of months, but. I don't know. There's something unique and really fun and relaxed and cool and special about being in this room, and I feel freaking 100 times better than I did at 5 o'clock. I can tell you that 100 times better. And I know we're late.